graders today. Who all likes Christmas? So is Christmas coming up? And just by the way, y'all can just talk when I ask y'all questions. You don't have to raise your hand. You can just blurt out as long as we stay under control and not over loud. Y'all know how to do the rules and everything. But what's your favorite thing about Christmas? Y'all just blurt out some answers for me. Lights. Someone said my favorite. My favorite is lights too. So what happens? Like what makes lights work? Does anybody know? Electricity. But what if we don't have electricity? Batteries. Well, we've been talking about this for a while. We're going to do a quick review before we do our STEM challenge. We've done a STEM challenge before. Do any of y'all remember that? Does anybody know what STEM challenge is in here?
Yes.
Okay, some of you do. We'll review just to make sure. But our essential questions for today are what are electric circuits, what are conductors, and how do conductors transfer energy? So that's things that we're going to learn today or review. So if you weren't here, you're going to learn today. Okay? But before we start, we're going to talk about STEM a little bit. So what is STEM? STEM is basically like taking science, technology, engineering, and math and mixing it all together in one subject. So like, basically what you're going to do is use all these things to solve a problem. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Science, the S part of STEM, is the study of the natural world based on facts learned through experiments and observations. Technology is the use of science in the industry, engineering, and etc. to invent useful things or to solve problems. Engineering is the branch of science and technology concerned with the design and building of the use of engines, machines, and structures. And mathematics is the abstract science of number, quantity, and space. So basically, STEM is teaching you how all of those subjects tie together and how you can use them to solve a bigger problem. Okay? So now we're going to review the electrical circuits. A circuit, everybody say circuit?
Circuit.
Is a complete path around which electricity can flow. It must include a source of electricity, such as a battery. What's another source of electricity? Anybody know? What a source of electricity be like an outlet you plug stuff into? What else could be one? Extension cord. Exactly. And materials that allow electric current to pass through are called conductors. Conductors can be used to link the positive and the negative ends of the battery, creating a circuit. So this right here, this line going around, you see that it's going in not a circular, but they call it circular, circular, because it's going around, it's transferring the energy around. Okay? Because it has to connect to a positive and a negative. You can't see the negative on this diagram, but we have all seen a battery and it has a positive and a negative. So it goes a complete circle around. Okay? But the line is to represent the conductor. So some different forms of conductors are aluminum, copper, brass, silver, and gold. And there's also more, but we're just going to talk about those for right now. And those are common examples of conductors. Oops. So I'm going to demonstrate this fun little thing. Okay? And you might want to pay attention to this. We're about to do something similar. Now just like break for a second, normally in a STEM project you wouldn't like give any instruction on it. Like you might review key terms and stuff, but you wouldn't show them what to do. It's basically, it's like letting students' minds work. So you see this little end right here? Can't see what y'all see. Okay? It's got to be hooked to the aluminum, which is what? Conductor, yes. Okay, we're going to take that so it stays right here. And notice that the aluminum where the light is not touching each other, like these two ends are not touching. Okay? So we're going to make sure the wire hooks to the conductor, which is aluminum in this case. We're going to take it right there. Okay? And you see these two ends are they're not touching at all, but they're very close because this battery right here has the positive and the negative. And one end has to be on the positive and one has to be on the negative. And then we put it right here, and it lights up. So we have a complete path. It has to make a circle. But we're not going to get into this, and I don't want y'all to try it when you do the project because it'll mess it up. But we obviously don't have time to review that today. But if you made like a conductor in the middle and try to put a light like right here, then it would mess up the circle and then it wouldn't work. So just a future reminder of that. That's how that works. And now we are going to play a game online. And sorry, you'll have to type in another link. Kind of long. Oh wait, no, we're going to think about this too. We already talked about it, but I'll say it again. Just remember, like, the word circuit kind of sounds like circle, and the circuit needs to be in circular work. The wires have to go from the power source, in our case was the battery, and it transfers the electrons that go in and out, and it goes through the conductors. And many circuits have a switch so that they can be turned on and off. And when the switch is off, it makes a gap. So, like in this thing, had there been, say, this wasn't where we were putting the battery, and there was a switch there, you could use like this little brass fasteners, you know what those are? You could have used that in this little place and just like switched it off, and then it would make like a break in the circle line. But you don't have to worry about that today. I just thought it was cool. Okay? And then here's our link. So go to www.sciencegives.co/NZ/games activities, circuits, and conductors. And once everybody's there, I want you to put a thumbs up. And if you do get any trouble, just call it. Y'all let me know if I need to zoom in a little bit more too. Anybody there yet? At all? Are you having problems with it? Okay. Can I tell y'all this little secret of why I couldn't find it when I was just typing it in sometimes? I forget that circuits has a U up there. It's not circuits that has a U. I don't know if that's a reason, but it always can be. Always check the spelling. Did it help somebody? And if y'all can't find it, you can just look on with a partner anyways. It's not to grade, it's just for fun. But we'll go ahead and get started on that. Okay? So my screen, and yours probably did said this too, says try this. See if you can light the bulb by dragging an item into the gap of the circuit. Okay? You think an eraser would work to light the circuit? Okay. How do I keep? Let's look through all of our options. There might be more than one. And some chalk? No. I don't think so. A duck. A duck would do it, right? I think it will. See. No. How about a battery? Think another battery would work? That worked. Let's keep trying until we see if there's another one. The extra wire did. Another light bulb did, but you know what happened when we put the light bulb in? And another one? It made the light a little more dim. It didn't turn it off, but there's only a certain amount of energy that goes through. Okay, and we'll try one more coin. And that lit the light bulb back too. Okay, so now the fun part, or in my opinion the fun part, the STEM challenge. Okay? I'm going to read it to you first. You also have it on your piece of paper. You are the president of the decorating committee of your hometown, and the Christmas tree lighting ceremony is tonight. You and your team have worked for hours to decorate the tree, and it looks stunning. You go to plug in the tree for a test run, and you can't find an outlet anywhere. You and your team must think quickly to come up with a plan to make a battery-operated Christmas lights. You have 7 minutes to complete the task, and the supplies included, which I forgot to put on there, was the cardstock, 5 Christmas lights, aluminum foil strips, a 9-volt battery, tape, and scissors, which are only to be used by the teacher. But remember that the aluminum foil does tear. If you need scissors, you have to have it. Just raise your hand, and I'll come help you. And I'll pass out the tape, which I'll start planning.